Hello guys, this is Terry from Genki Gaming, and we're back with the final re-recording of the Missing Theories, which is Blamenco. But before we get started, the music in the background is provided by TuneIn and Japan Radio. Check them out if you have a chance. This video is not a sponsored one, because I know some people may ask. I've been listening to this and the Island FM a lot, but that's not important here for this video. I would recommend either radio station, depending upon what you like. But let's focus on the theory here. Blamenco, the 6th Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. There's not much to really say about him, which is where the theory starts. We see him wielding a hammer that's twice the size of his body. We see him take out some marines within one shot with his hammer. I'm guessing the weight of the hammer has to be pretty heavy due to the massive size, unless it's like a troll hammer, like Usopp's 2-ton hammer or 1-ton hammer, which I doubt it. I think his hammer actually... Blamenco's hammer or mallet is actually a ton or 2 tons. It would be neat if it was, because it would kind of troll Usopp a little bit. But that's not the point. He pulls it out of a pocket on his right chin, and we don't have the slightest clue what this double fruit is. Is it the pocket fruit? Is it the space fruit? Because when you're pulling a gigantic hammer out of your chin, there's gonna have to be space in there, and we see a lot of pockets on him, or multiple pockets. His hammer looks like a utsuchi, which is a large wooden hammer, and its basic origins from Japan is that it was mainly used to pass or for bursting through castle gates and doors. We don't really know his true strengths or his true abilities, so this is where we dive into the theory part. And my theory is that we'll call this fruit for right now the pocket fruit, or the pocket no mi. What's similar to a pocket? A bag of holding. And you may be wondering, why am I bringing D&D into One Piece? What if his pockets were actually bags of holding? And basically what a bag of holding is simply like a little pocket dimension where you can store a certain amount of objects or things. Basically, imagine being able to store all of your weapons, all of your allies' weapons, in a bag, without them having to carry any spare loot or weapons. Now, imagine it in the One Piece world, where you can store cannons, ballistas, maybe even people inside of his pockets. He's essentially a walking Trojan horse, kind of like Beige Capone, but different, seeing as there's no like bridges for them to run out or windows for them to shoot out. But what if he's able to reach into his pockets and throw his allies out? Kind of imagine like Olimar throwing Pikmins in Pikmin. Can you imagine like pulling Marco out of his pocket and him just launching Marco and having Marco go full mythical zone for him and kick someone? Kind of like the kick he did to Kizaru. But what is his true possibilities here for this pocket fruit, or what is the true possibility for it as an awakened devil fruit? I believe that if his double fruit is awakened or becomes awakened, that he'll be able to store ships within his pockets. Ships and crews. And that when he gets to a battlefield, he'll be able to drop ships into the water from another ship. Basically, Blamenco is standing on a ship, and he's at a certain particular angle, and he's able to reach into his pocket and throw a ship out into the ocean or into the sea and have everything be intact. It would mean that Blamenco is basically a battleship or a carrier of other ships, and that he could basically have a fleet or an armada within him, and that he may be on one ship alone and may be strong on his own, but with allies he's even stronger. I believe that to make up for the fact that he's so strong and so slow, that I'm just implying he's slow here, just due to the fact that swinging a heavy hammer, no matter how strong you are, you're going to leave yourself vulnerable to certain hits. I believe this is where the observation hockey kicks in, that Blamenco will be able to dodge or readjust his positioning when he's pulling out weapons for allies or pulling out his hammer for himself. Or maybe even when he's throwing allies out, where there's a split second where he can use his hockey on them to redirect where they're being thrown at or how their weapon is being maneuvered. I do believe that he has some form of armament hockey that we will see in the future, where he could potentially infuse ships, people, weapons with armament hockey, and then have the wielder code over his armament hockey with theirs, reinforcing their weapon. Well, this is kind of a short theory, guys, and I want to thank you guys for watching / listening. I'm going to end it here, and my next theory is not going to be another Whitebeard Division Commander one. I'm going to do a couple secondary theories that I've been thinking about, like who will Carrot and Pedro fight during Whole Cake Island. I have a idea of who they will fight, but I'm not giving that away yet. But I want to have that theory out here after this Blamenco one, because I'm still working on some things with it. Well, I've been Terry from Geeky Gaming. You guys are amazing, awesome viewer people. Have a wonderful, great day, afternoon, or morning. I am out.